Good evening, fantasy and sci-fi, genre, and book lovers. It's me, it's Triple B. Let's spill that tea. What's up, beasties? It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Beast Tea Weekly, where we spill the tea on everything going on in the fantasy sci-fi world. News, cover releases, new releases, and so on and so forth. And then we switch gears and talk about everything going on in the world of the Bearded Book Beast, and give you channel updates, writing updates, what I read, what I will be reading, and other things that I like to do. So, without further ado, my BEA beautiful beasties, which you are looking particularly lovely today. Thanks for being here. Let's get it started and spill that tea, baby. Our first story of the night has to do with an announcement for an adaptation from one of Stephen King's books, and that is for Fairy Tale. His most recent fantasy book. Now, this book has been in the works to be a movie with Universal Studios for quite a while, but now they've switched gears, and A24 Studio, an independent studio, has picked up the rights to make a 10-episode miniseries out of the book. Maybe more if it does well. This is in the early stages. No talks about when it will be released, when it will be done, who's going to play what roles, what streaming service it will be on, none of that stuff. But this is exciting because I did enjoy this book. So, yeah. And it's always good when Stephen King gets another thing adapted. Not adapted, adapted. I'm not a real news anchor. A real news anchor wouldn't have made that mistake. Maybe I should use that word from now on, though. Tell me what you think. I like that. Adaptated. I'm going to start using it because the second story of the night also has to do with the book being adaptated. Let's move on to that story, shall we? In other news, another book is preparing to be adapted, or adaptated, as we like to say here on Triple B's Book Mail. Nope. As we like to say here on the Beast Tea Weekly, at least in the last 1 minute, is not Traitor's Blade, but another book by author Sebastian de Castell, and that is Spellslingers. I love Mr. de Castell's work. Traitor's Blade, I'm working my way through the Greatcoats and enjoying it. Traitor's Blade is on my list for top 10 books of the year currently. We'll see where it ends up at the end of the year. But Spellslingers, his other series, is getting adapted. And it is being done by John Wick director Chad Stileski. He's developing an adaptation of the Spellslinger series. I'm excited about this. He was Keanu Reeves' stunt double in The Matrix and later directed all of the John Wick movies, which I love, all of the above. And I am excited to read Spellslinger eventually. It is one on my list once I get through Greatcoats, because I do enjoy his writing a lot. No news on when this will be coming, but it is going to be a show format with hour-long episodes, and they are planning to give it the full treatment. So this is very exciting. I look forward to giving you more information about this book being adapted when the time comes. In other news, the Kindle Color has finally been released. Long sought after and excited about by many Kindle users, including myself. The Kindle Color has arrived. Unfortunately, at this time, it is their first dip into this, so the screen resolution will not be very impressive, and it is just in their standard size, not in a bigger size, and also not with the page-turning buttons like the Kindle Oasis has. The Kindle Oasis is my Kindle of choice, and I am hoping that eventually they do an update on that. I do love the page-turn buttons and some of the other features, but the Kindle Oasis does not have a USB-C charge. It still has the old micro USB, which is quite annoying. So I look forward to hopefully a Kindle Color with page turn buttons and some of the Oasis features and the ergonomic. We're talking about things being adaptated and holding on to an ergonomic grip here. We're top-notch quality at this new studio. Ergonomic. That's probably not the right word either. Anyway, I like the features of the Oasis, so I will keep my Oasis and wait patiently for something more similar to that. But the Kindle Color is out, if that's your cup of tea. That's a rough eyebrow raise. This is going smashingly. On to more news. And a piece of interesting news that I just find fascinating myself. Everyone is excited about John Gwynn's third book in his Bloodsworn trilogy, Fury of the Gods, releasing. I'm excited too, although I have not finished Shadow of the Gods. I need to get my butt in gear and get caught up on this fantastic series. But the interesting story that I wanted to touch on was how some Barnes & Nobles put the Fury of the Gods out on shelves last week, although the release... Hold on a second. 2 weeks ago, although the release was just last week. This was a very interesting topic to dive in. In my research, the studio here found some interviews and comments from Barnes & Noble employees who said that some books have a hard sell date. And if they have that, they're not allowed to put things out on the shelf. Some books do not. So they said, maybe this Fury of the Gods does not have a hard sell date. And Barnes & Noble was able to just put it out on the shelf. But if you pre-ordered, they're not allowed to mail that to you till the hard sell date. That was interesting. Another person also said, someone in the publishing industry said, a hard sell date does not matter. It matters if there's an embargo on the book. So if it didn't have an embargo, they could put it out whenever they wanted. And then another Barnes & Noble employee said that someone at their store just put them out and they were not supposed to. So it's very interesting. It was kind of a mess, but at the end of the day, that's fantastic. If books got out early to readers that were going to buy them anyway, great. And if they left reviews to help John Gwynn out a little early, that's great too. I just thought it was interesting and wanted to report my findings to you, my beasties. Let me know if you've read Fury of the Gods yet. I know a lot of people have, and I have what they call the FOMO. Fear of missing out, if you didn't know what that is. And I do have that. But someday I won't, because I am going to read John Gwynn. Very soon. This past week, on social media, some of you might have seen that the fantastic author, Molly McCabe, author of Dark Bloom, a book that I really loved, me and her collaborated to do a giveaway for 3 signed copies of her fantastic book. Thank you to everyone that commented. It was great to see you in there, talk to you. Thank you to everyone that shared it and spread the word about the giveaway. The winners are in. And what's that? Oh, I've just been told that I have Molly McCabe live right now, out in the field, and she is going to announce the winners right now. Molly, take it away.
Thanks, Chris. So I'm actually here reporting to you live from the desk of Molly. We're going to announce the winners of the Dark Bloom giveaway. So okay, we really got to get this first person, third person thing down. We'll get there. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody so much for participating. Of course, this was a way to get Dark Bloom in the hands of some people, but it was just so much fun. I had such a blast interacting with the community on this one. Okay, I'll shut up. Here are the winners. Thanks, guys.
Isn't she lovely? Thank you, Molly. Appreciate it. It was great to work with you on this collab. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to announce the winners here on Beast Tea Weekly. Congratulations to the winners. I know all three of these gents, and they are fantastic human beings, and I am excited that they get a signed copy of such a fantastic book. Thank you to all involved. That was a lot of fun. Look for more giveaways with me and authors down the pipeline. That's it for the news stories for this episode of Beast Tea Weekly. Now I have the privilege to share with you a cover reveal video that I made and shared on social media earlier this week. If you're not on the socials, you may have missed it. And if you did already see it, you get to watch it again. So, I'm going to share with you the cover reveal of G.J. Terrell's book, Bloodbound, the sequel to Bloodwoven, coming out November 8th. Get excited. I'm going to be reading Bloodwoven and Bloodbound in November, and I'm very excited. GJ's a great guy, great supporter and friend of the channel, and his books look awesome and sound awesome. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy this cover reveal made by yours truly. 3, 2, 1, boom! Oh, beautiful, isn't it? I cannot wait. You should definitely pre-order it. I know I'm going to grab a copy because it is beautiful, and so far I'm loving this book. Love his writing style. These will all be linked down below in the description. Check it out if you haven't yet. Get hyped, get excited, and look forward to seeing me gush about this book, this short story collection, and Book 2, Bloodbound, coming very soon, November 8th. Fantastic, wasn't it? Not as fantastic as the cover, though. Get ready. Check out Bloodwoven if you have not yet. And get ready for Bloodbound, November 8th. Congrats, GJ. Now it's time to talk about new releases coming this week. Let's get into it. Once again, we're going to do this rapid fire so I can talk about everything that's coming out this week. And I'll show the covers as I go and just give you a quick little snippet about each book. First up is the new re-release of Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong. The first woman ever admitted to a prestigious order of mages unravels a secret conspiracy that could change the practice of magic forever in the standalone dark fantasy. That will be available October 29th with a new cover. The Bloodless Princes by Charlotte Bond. This is the second entry in the Fireborn Blade series. And in it, Sir Medela and Saraline set out on a perilous journey to the underworld. That's also due out October 29th. Dungeons & Dragons, Worlds and Realms, Adventures from Greyhawk to Faerun and Beyond by Adam Lee. Celebrate 50 years of the spellbinding settings and planes of Dungeons & Dragons with this beautifully illustrated exploration of the multiverse. October 29th for that as well. Sounds good. I've always wanted to get into the Dungeons & Dragons books and lore, so that sounds like a cool place to start. Feast While You Can by Michaela Clements and Anjuli Datta. This is also October 29th. This strange and sexy novel of love in a small town is an unsettling reminder that the horrors of modern life are a monster ready to possess us all. Masquerade by Mike Fu. When a house sitter in New York discovers eerie similarities between his life and a novel set in the 1930s Shanghai, it sparks a series of peculiar events involving ghosts, riddles, a disappearing friend, and blurred boundaries. October 29th. Nether Station by Kevin J. Anderson. This release is described as a thrilling mix of epic science fiction and Lovecraftian horror. October 29th. Excited about that one. I like Kevin J. Anderson's books. Night Marchers by J. Lincoln Finn. Struggling journalist travels to a remote island in search of a rare flower, while also tracing the troubled path of a relative who perished there under mysterious circumstances decades earlier. Intriguing. October 29th. The Queen by Nick Cutter. I'm preparing to read my first Nick Cutter book, The Troop, next week. In this horror novel, a young woman receives a mysterious text from her missing and presumed dead best friend and goes on a harrowing quest to uncover the truth about what really happened to her. October 29th, just in time for Halloween. This Will Be Fun by E.B. Asher. This is one that I remember seeing a while back and was excited about. Former friends and former flames reunite on a mayhem-spiked quest in this cozy, funny romantasy. Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco. The Prince of Sin romantasy series continues, as two rivals torn apart by a dark memory reunite on a deadly hunt and in an irresistibly twisted fairy tale. Usurpation. Ooh. Usurpation. Usurpation. Usurp. I feel like I'm saying that one song. Sipping on some scissors. Sipping on some syrup. Usurpation. The author returns to her Semiosis series as the Stevland infiltration of Earth continues. They successfully took over their previous planet, so Earth shouldn't put up much of a fight. Right? And finally, For She Is Wrath. That's quite a cover. The cover is great too, but that's quite a title. By Emily Varga. A sweeping Pakistani romance fantasy retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo, where one girl seeks revenge against those who betrayed her, including the boy she used to love. I love the Count of Monte Cristo. Sounds very interesting. Pakistani influence. Very cool. And one more that I found when I was recording this. It is called Odin's Bane, The Waters of Mimir. It's a Norse mythology fantasy by Nikolai Sie, not sure which, sorry, Sie, S-I-E. And it comes out on Halloween, which is pretty cool. Who Will Survive? Let's see. Odin's Bane is a riveting Norse fantasy adventure that challenges the boundaries of fate and worth of life. With its blend of ruthless deceit and heroic struggles, this tale promises to immerse readers in a saga where gods and mortals collide. Odin's Bane. On Halloween. Now it's time to turn the page and talk about what's happening here on Triple B. What's happening here on the Bearded Book Beast YouTube channel. First up, let's take a look and see how everything I read last week wrapped up with our reading recap. What's up, beasties? We're back here again in the cave to talk about what I read this week. So let's take a look back and talk about what I read. So, I did not finish Speaks the Nightbird yet. This month has just not been great. I've been in a rough reading stretch for time, just with things going on with my work, my wife's work, my kids' schedules. It's just been one of those months. Some of you might remember that right before my daughter went back to college, my oldest, she hit a deer, totaled her car. So I was driving back and forth for a long time as we were trying to find her a new car and dealing with the insurance. It actually worked out pretty good because on audio, I finished Elantris, which I liked. And I also listened to Darktown by Palmer Pickering. Loved that. So, and I got going on Stormlight Archive on audio. So it worked out well. But we finally got our new car. I was back to having a little more time. I had some busy things that kept me from reading a little, but I was getting my groove back. Then this past week, about a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks, we had that car for 3 weeks and the transmission went out. So I had to drive it back and forth again a little bit. And that was a bummer. And then every night, meeting with the dealership, meeting with my bank, trying to figure out a solution, meeting with the auto shop that had looked at the car and just figuring out, towing it around. And it was a nightmare. But we finally got her in another car. This one's newer. Hopefully it will have zero problems and will be good for a long time. So anyway, you probably don't care about that, but it's just been a rough go reading. But I am about halfway through this. I really like it a lot. I think this is going to become a series that I just get obsessed with. I've always loved this time period, kind of this, I don't even know what they call it, but during like the witch trials and stuff, that, I don't know, what is the name of that time period? Like I don't know. Anyway, I love that whole time period. And this is excellent. It's a slow burn, a lot of character work, a lot of dialogue. He's interviewing people, trying to figure out if this girl is a witch or not. And it's just really interesting. Ooh. A lot of fun, very dark. There's just feeling this ominous feeling of dread through the whole thing. Much like I felt during Justice of Kings. Like, I loved that. I loved the character work, and that is a little more skewed towards medieval fantasy time, but still that same kind of feeling and vibe. And I'm digging it a lot, loving it. Hopefully we'll wrap it up this week, and then I can give you my full thoughts and talk all about it in the next wrap up. But since I have 3 more books I wanted to get through this month, and luckily they're all shorter. This is a beefy boy, but the other 3 are shorter. I did start My Best Friend's Exorcism. This is one I've wanted to read for so long, so I'm reading both of them at the same time. Hopefully I'll get through them this week so that I can read the last 2 next week before I get into November. So it's going to bleed a little into November, but that's okay. That happens. But anyway, this is really good. I'm loving it so far. It's definitely got those 80s, 90s vibes of if you grew up in that time. The chapter headings are like songs and different nods to things in that time, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm enjoying it so far. I'm only a couple chapters in, but I think I'm going to love it, and I'm excited to read more. I've got a lot of his books that I've been wanting to read for a while, so excited to keep going with that one. And look at that cover. Isn't that just cool? I love how it looks like an old VHS tape. The back's even got like some 80s-ish horror-looking footage on it. Very cool. All right, next up, novella short book-wise, I did read and finish. I found Puppets Living in My Apartment Walls. This was a lot of fun. It is really good. I love Ben Farthing's writing. I'm excited to read. He's got a lot more of things, books and stuff similar to this. That's just a fun short read, and I love his writing style. His chapters are quick, snappy, and this was a lot of fun. So the main character is the joys of recording videos in the storage room while in the basement whilst my family is awake. I think someone just flushed the toilet. Lovely. Anyway, so I found Puppets Living in My Apartment Walls. Basically, in the story, the main character we follow is a young gentleman whose grandfather has been missing for a long time. He's declared legally dead. He's living in his grandfather's old apartment, which also used to be the studio that he recorded his famous puppet show, kind of like think Sesame Street or the Muppets, in. And he's living there. His sister is also coming, and they're going to kind of go through things, take over the apartment, all that kind of stuff. And he's living there, and he's sleeping at night, and this character also has sleep paralysis, which is terrifying, especially if you've ever seen the House on Haunted Hill, right? Something like that. Anyway, I don't think that's right. I don't think it's Haunted Hill. I think it's something else. The Hill House. Hill House. Anyway, sleep paralysis is a terrifying thing. But anyway, he has sleep paralysis. And he's sleeping, he wakes up, and there's this giant blue fuzzy puppet standing over his bed, and it's got a hold of him, and he's like freaking out, but he can't move or do anything. And then it disappears into the walls, and like it's just about him trying to figure out if it's real, if he's imagining things. But when he gets up, there's blue fuzzies on the ground from this puppet, and it's like crazy. It's a lot of fun. Very quick read. I highly recommend it, and I recommend Ben Farthing. All right, graphic novel-wise, I did read Megaduck Volume 1, and it was so much fun. Again, the artwork looks just like the comic book. It's got all the characters we love. It's a continuation of that cartoon animated series, and this one focuses on Megaduck. The last one I read in the summer focused on Darkwing Duck, but this focuses on Megaduck, and he has just escaped from high max security prison. He wants to like plan this big job to kind of get back and let people know he's back. But every time he goes to do something, a lesser B villain, as he sees them, has already doing it, and he feels like down, like I can't even come up with a good plan that some other less cool villain has come up with. So then he overhears these people talking about going on this hunt to find this gauntlet that can turn everything you touch into gold, and that supposedly King Midas used that back in the day. So he decides he's going to go find it first, and it just kicks off from there, and it's a lot of fun. I actually, Megaduck, it never really focused on him in the cartoon. I mean, he was a big part of it, but getting it from his point of view, he was actually very enjoyable to follow, so I liked this a lot. It was very interesting, so look forward to what they do next. I don't know if they'll go back and forth every month between Megaduck and Darkwing, or if there'll be other characters. Like, there's just so many from the show, so I'm excited to see what they do next. And graphic novel wise, I did start Uzumaki. This has this weird thing, they didn't cut off the pages right, so I ordered another one to replace this and then send this back. But for now, I'm just reading it because I want to. But it was very creepy, very scary. The writing, or the drawing is, I love the artwork. It's really good. Very creepy. It looks fantastic. I'm digging it so far. Very eerie, weird stuff going on. I'm excited to see what happens and what I think of it overall. I'm going to keep reading that this week, and then I'll give you my full thoughts when I'm all done. Yeah, that's what I read this week. Wasn't a great week, but pretty decent. And I'm looking forward to this week as well. So back to the Beast Tea Weekly. Spill that tea, baby. Fantastic. Excited to see how all those reads go. Thank you for sharing. Next up, I've got a special breaking segment. Whilst recording this week's episode of Beast Tea Weekly, we got a package in the delivery. We got a package delivered in the mail, I should say. And I'm going to share it with you right now, because that's what we do. We do breaking news, such as this. This package came from Amazon, and it is very exciting. One I've been waiting for, and I'm excited to share it with you. Bookbringer, come to me. This is not just one, not just two, but 3 books. A complete trilogy that I am very, very, very excited about. And I haven't seen these yet. So get ready. Check it out. The hardcover illustrated editions of the Scarlet Star trilogy from Ben. Golly. Look at these. Let's take a look at the first one, shall we? There's Ben's handsome mug right there. Let me find some artwork. Formatted lovely. It's got some great chapter header pages. Let me show you. Oh, it's got a nice glossary in the back so that you know what a lot of the words are. A little lore back there. Very nice. Look at this illustration. Awesome. Again, this is a Western fantasy cast of characters. Beautiful. I'm very excited to have these. They are beautiful. Love it. Excited to get started on this next month. Spoiler. Reading this bad boy right here next month. And Finally, look at those spines. Gonna look great on the shelf. Thank you for that. Next up, in a new segment, we're going to talk about our watch of the week. We're going to keep it right here for the first one. My watch of the week was I finally watched the first 2 episodes of The Penguin on Max. Matt Reeves has done it again. I love the Batman, and I love the Penguin. If you haven't jumped into it yet, you definitely should, especially if you like Batman. But even if you just like dark, gritty, crime, crime, maybe mob, mafia kind of things, you should definitely check this out. The makeup's fantastic. Sometimes I forget that's Colin Farrell, and his acting is spot on, and it's just a great show. I love the Penguin. I'm already rooting for him, even though he is psychotic. It's good stuff. You should definitely check it out. Highly recommended. And I'm excited to continue on with the series. Next up, let's take a look at what our special edition of the week was. All right, beasties, what's up? We are here to talk about the special edition of the week. And this week, I had a really good one come in, and it's got to be this one. And that is The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams from The Broken Binding. Look at this beautiful, stunning cover by Jeff Brown. I mean, gorgeous. I mean, that's incredible. It's got a cool quote on the back. We've got the beautiful sword sprayed edges. Then, let me show you. Look at this naked hardcover. It's like a bluish purple. It's hard to tell, but it's gorgeous. Sword on the back again. Just stunning. These end papers are beautiful. Get that one. And this is a series that I have not read. Look at this back end papers. So cool. And of course, it is signed and numbered, which is very cool because I'm a tier 1 subscriber now. Pretty sweet. Now my books all come signed. The font, interestingly, is kind of big. And the pages are very thick, so that makes this a very beastie boy. But it is gorgeous. I love this. I'm excited to read these. Got to get through Stormlight. I want to get caught up with that. And some other long series, but this one is definitely going to be in the pipeline sooner than later. And I'll probably, if some of my bookish friends start doing I think this has a bookmark ribbon too. I just realized it does, a purple one. Look at that. Pretty. If some of my bookish friends go to do it, then I'll probably do it sooner. But I do have, I had found all the paperbacks of these, which is pretty cool. So I do have the Dragonbone Chair mass market paperback. I love mass market paperbacks with the original artwork of some of these older ones. I'm collecting them all for a Wheel of Time too. But I mean, yes, this is cool. I love having this, but I mean, come on now. That's gorgeous. So, special edition of the week. Beautiful. Thank you. Now I'll let you get back to the Beast Tea Weekly, where we're going to spill some more tea, baby. I shouldn't do that on every single one, but it's so fun to say, baby. See you. Simply stunning. Thank you for that. Beautiful special edition. We're lucky to have it. Now let's take a look and see what we're going to be reading this week. What's up, beasties? I hope you're having a great day and a great weekend. I hope you're excited and ready for a fun, spooky week. Halloween week is upon us. So I'm here to talk about what I'm going to be reading this week. And I'm going to try to keep those spooky-ish vibes. So this is what I'm going to be reading this week. Of course, I'm going to try to finish up Speaks the Nightbird and My Best Friend's Exorcism, both of which I started this week, and I'm loving them both. And And then I still got 2 more books this month. Just kind of sucked for reading. So hopefully I can have a good reading week, finish strong, and then some of these will have to bleed into the first week of November. But I'm going to try to get through these 2, and then I have 2 more books that are shorter that hopefully I can get through next week as well. But so these are going to be my 2 reads. They're very fun. I like them both a lot. Excited to be reading these on Spooky Week. Then, for my novella this week, I'm going to dive into G.J. Terrell, who is a great supporter and friend of the channel, awesome author. I did a book cover reveal this past week for book 2 of his trilogy. I'm going to be diving into his books in November, book 1 and book 2, Blood Woven and Blood Bound. So I thought it'd be fun to dive into his short story collection. I'm excited to check out his writing before I get into his books next month, so I thought that would be fun. And this cover has kind of like a creepy, cool vibe to it, so I think that'll be fun to read this week. Graphic novel wise, I just can't wait. I picked this up. You saw it in Triple B's book mail. It's the graphic novel, very cool, like oversized, awesome artwork edition of The Written by Ben Galley. I'm really starting to dive into those books, but first I am going to read his Scarlet Star trilogy. Going to be reading that soon, but I thought this would be fun to read this and get kind of introduced in this way to his world of Emanuska and The Written. So I love graphic novels, and this looks freaking cool, so I'm going to be reading that this week. And I am going to try to finish up Uzumaki. I started it, and it's very interesting. I actually love the artwork, and it's very creepy, so I'm enjoying it. It'll be perfect to read this week. I'll also probably read some more Berserk, because I'm really loving that. Got to keep going, got to catch up. I have a million more issues, or not issues. I have a million more volumes to read, but definitely going to focus on this, and then read some Berserk on the side as well. Excited. So it's going to be a great reading week for me. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to sharing my thoughts with you guys once I get done with that stuff. So, back to the Beast Tea Weekly. Spill that tea, baby. As far as what's coming up on the channel, I've got 2 interviews this week that I'm very excited about, and I have 2 next week that I already have lined up. This week, as I announced last week on Beast Tea Weekly, on Wednesday night, Halloween Eve, I'm going to be having the wonderful Molly McCabe on for an episode of Beast Friends Forever. We're going to chat about her book, Dark Bloom, and just have a lot of fun hanging out, getting ready for Halloween and the end of October. It should be a great time. Molly's fantastic, and I can't wait for all of you to get to hang out with her and me Wednesday night. Be there. Also, on Saturday evening, look for my YouTube channel. These will be up. There'll be thumbnails and links in there very shortly. But Saturday night, I'm going to have a great supporter of the channel, great friend, and another author that I absolutely love their book, and that is the author of Sledge versus the Labyrinth. That's right, Sledge himself, Nick Horvath, is going to be on Saturday night, the day after. Wait. Yes. The day after. No. Saturday. Wait. I keep thinking Halloween is on Friday. Saturday, 2 days after Halloween, he'll be on, and it's going to be a fantastic time. I have been itching to talk to Nick, and it's going to be so much fun to have him on the channel and get to chat with him one-on-one and talk all about Sledge and the awesome things he's done in his life, and just have a blast, because he's a fantastic person. One of my favorites that I've met since starting this channel. So, looking forward to it. Hope you can be there. Video-wise this week, I have a couple of fun Halloween-themed videos that I'm going to do. For example, I'm going to do a video showing off the spookiest book covers that I have in my library, in my collection. I also have a video planned where I'm going to talk about scary, monstrous characters from fantasy and sci-fi books that are not horror books, but fantasy and sci-fi. But I'm going to talk about some of the most scary, villainous characters and things that have happened in the fantasy books that I have. That should be a lot of fun. Look forward to all of that this week on the channel. Finally, it's time for a writing update. And as promised, I'm going to read some character profile / short blurbs about each of the 5 characters that we'll be following in my book. These are early on. I'm not going to name places, so I may say the kingdom or the world. I'm not going to get too deep into things, but I'm going to give you a good feel for the characters, including their names. So get ready. It's going to be exciting. There will be a piece of artwork showed that is just drawn by me, so don't laugh and trust that the artwork will be much better for future information. Here we go. First up, we have Alwyn, our main character. Alwyn Blossom, better known as the Blossoming Bard to his adoring fans, can really smash the high notes during his performance. Of course, he can also really smash in a skull when need be, which is often, since Alwyn is secretly a former soldier and assassin for the powerful and sinister Dominion, the evil empire that rules the kingdom and much more beyond. Broken free from their brainwashing and on the run, Alwyn has changed his name and has been posing as a harmless, traveling bard. He brings joy with his music and, through the use of his violent set of non-musical skills, helps others who cannot help themselves. Alwyn is trying his best to do good to make up for all the blood he shed in the Dominion's name in his former life. But that's not his only mission. He has another, and it involves his list. A list with the names of all the elite members of the Dominion. A list that has brought him to the kingdom. Alwyn knows he will never truly be free until every last one of the names on his list, hell, every last member of the Dominion for that matter, are dead. Preferably by his own hand, and in the most gruesome manner, with the help of his trusty mandolin and all of the sharp and pointy weapons hidden inside. That is our first character. Next up, here we go. Kerpel is an orc. Yes, the ugly ones. The terrifying and villainous-looking monstrosities that frighten women and children just with their appearance. But Kerpel is different than most orcs, at least on the inside. He loves gardening, he loves growing herbs, he loves to make homemade tea, and most of all, he loves to read. Kerpel defected from his bloodthirsty band and lives in hiding deep in the forest. He's built a home where he can be his true self. More importantly, he has built a life. Kerpel loves to read stories of adventure and heroes and wishes he could be a swashbuckling hero himself. He wishes he could be part of society, a part of the city, part of the kingdom. So much so that he hatches the idea to sew and stitch together a mask and a costume, a disguise. He becomes a hero who patrols the city under the cover of night to protect its people from evildoers and injustice. After saving a damsel in distress from a violent thief, Kerpel becomes the talk of the city. People revere him. Women and children cheer for him when they see him. He is accepted by the citizens of the city. He truly belongs. But his exploits soon catch the wrong attention, both from his former band of monstrous brothers and the Dominion. Next up. Shale is a devouranthrope, a type of skinwalker who can become anything or anyone. That is, if she ingests some of their DNA. It could be a hair, a skin cell, or the saliva from a discarded glass, or even from sharing a kiss. But that only allows her new form to hold up for minutes to hours. The more DNA she consumes, the longer the change will last. Devour a whole body and, well, Shale could become someone else for weeks. She's in the kingdom for a big score, the biggest con of her life. If she gets it right, she can ride off into the sunset and retire, maybe settle down and take up a new hobby. She always wanted to write spicy romance novels, but a job with that big of a payoff is never that easy. And with the kingdom now under Dominion control, Shale will have to be extra careful to pull it off. Princess Gwendy is one of 2 children of the king of the kingdom. Her older brother, Prince Gain, is the heir and someone she admires, or at least she thought she did. She's aghast to learn that he agrees with her father's decision to submit to the Dominion's rule rather than risk bloodshed by fighting for their kingdom. How could they bow to these power-hungry thugs? This is their kingdom. The Dominion can't just waltz in and take it from them. Gwendy isn't like the other ladies in the court. She likes to fight. She likes to ride horses. She likes to sneak into town while in disguise and drink, dance, and live it up with the locals. These are her people, and she'll be damned if the bloodthirsty Dominion will be given free reign over them in their lives. If her father and brother won't fight back, then she is ready to. She's been gathering allies throughout the kingdom who feel the way she does. She'll start an underground resistance and make sure the Dominion regrets the day they tried to steal her kingdom. Finally, our final POV. Bunk is tired. All he wants to do is drink himself to sleep and be left alone in peace and quiet, to forget. He spends all day in taverns in the city in the kingdom, trying to do just that. The world has changed and Bunk has been left behind. He's old, he's fat, and he's washed up. Not anything close to the warrior and assassin he used to be, but he doesn't want that life anymore. But the Dominion doesn't give a horse's ass what Bunk thinks, or what he wants. The Dominion doesn't let its soldiers retire, and they sure as hell don't let them drink themselves to sleep and have any kind of peace. So what else can Bunk do? He will keep killing for the Dominion when he has to, and he will keep drinking and trying to forget when he doesn't. So that is my character profile. I hope you enjoyed. Those are the POVs we're going to be following. Gives you a little insight into the story. Look for many more updates along the way as I continue to write. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited, and I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you all for your support. That's all I got for you, Beasties. Thank you for watching another episode of Beast Tea Weekly. I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope you had a great time, and I hope you have a fabulous upcoming week as well. If this is your first time here and you enjoyed the Beast Tea Weekly and what we do here, please check out other videos. Decide if you would like to stay and hang around, and if you do, I would love it if you would hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, but more importantly, you'll know when videos coming out. You'll know when videos come out, and most importantly of all, you'll become a beastie yourself, part of a fantastic community full of wonderful, lovely people, and you and me will be beast friends. And we'll get to chat and talk and get to know each other and talk books and talk story, and that's what it's all about. Until I see you in the next one, Beasties, devour those TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see ya. Have a good night. Take it easy. See you in the next one.